My name is Alyssa Stone. I am the Senior Director of Programs and Community Engagement here at Mechanics Institute, and it is my immense pleasure to welcome you all for our monthly storytelling showcase hosted by the one, the only, Corey Rosen. Who's ready to go? Who has been here to Mechanics Institute before? Who is here for the very first time? Wonderful. Welcome, everyone. We hope it is the first of many visits here to Mechanics Institute. For those who are less familiar with our organization, Mechanics Institute was founded in 1854, so we are celebrating our 170th anniversary this year. It's a very special place. We are a membership institution, so I would love for you all to consider joining us as a member by visiting milibrary.org. We also have, of course, public access to our many programs. Mechanics Institute is a cultural center, historical landmark, gorgeous multi-story accessible library. If you have not checked out the library, please make sure you do so. It's truly stunning. A world-renowned chess hub. We are the oldest chess club in the United States. And an events center like what we're doing this evening. We have anywhere from 5 to 15 events per week here at Mechanics Institute. We are a hub for writers, readers, cinephiles, chess players, and lifelong learners. So please make sure you visit milibrary.org to learn more. If you are interested in learning about membership, please come and check in with me or my colleague Andy, who has been doing check-in alongside me, and we are most happy to answer any questions you might have or get you all signed up for a membership this very evening. And if you haven't seen the whole building, okay is right. Yes, okay. If you have not explored our entire building, we have a free public tour every Wednesday at noon. I hope to see you there. And we have evening tours once a month on Fridays at 5. We have a couple other events that I'd love to welcome you to. Next Thursday, April 4th, we are celebrating National Poetry Month at 6:30 in the library with 3 incredible poets. We have California Poet Laureate Lee Herrick, San Francisco's Poet Laureate Pongo S.N. Martin, and Oakland's inaugural Poet Laureate Dr. Ayodele Nzinga, all here to celebrate National Poetry Month with us. That's next Thursday, April 4th at 6:30 in the library. And the week after that, on Thursday, April 11th, we have our Music at Mechanics series, where we will be featuring Rebecca Rust and Friedrich Edelman in concert together here in this space. So we have many incredible events for you to check out. And now, to get our storytelling showcase started, I would love to introduce Corey Rosen. I know you all know him, we all know him, we all love him, but he deserves his flowers. Corey Rosen is a writer, actor, and visual effects producer and storytelling teacher based in San Francisco. He hosts the Moth Story Slams and Grand Slams and has been featured on the Moth Radio Hour, Alice Radio's The Sarah and Vinny Show, and K-Fog's The Finch Files podcast. Corey is a performer at Bats Improv, one of the world's foremost centers for improvisational theater, and is the author of Your Story Well Told, Creative Strategies to Develop and Perform Stories That Wow an Audience. Please make sure you check out more about Corey by visiting CoreyRosen.com. And I also want to make sure I mention that Bats Improv has a show that started this month called The Saboteur. So definitely check out more at Bats Improv. And with that, please give a warm and joyful Mechanics Institute welcome to Corey Rosen.
Thank you. Hello, San Francisco. How are you tonight? Good. My name is Corey. What's your name? It's so nice to meet you. / see you again. I am so happy to have so many beautiful people here tonight. Welcome for those of you who have never been to Mechanics Institute. I love it here. I've been doing a show here every month starting in about August of last year. So it's a monthly, I like to call it a residency. It's like this is our sphere, right? I'm you too. This is going to be our residency. Living here 1 day a month. And it's just been delightful. So what I do and what you're kind of in for tonight, for those of you who are like, what the hell is happening here tonight? So is that this is it's an amazing place, Mechanics Institute. And it really centers around two things as far as I'm concerned, which is literacy, right? Like it's a library, and community. And that's really what I lean into with these shows, is these are places for people to be themselves, to share stories, to share a little bit of themselves in whatever format that comes out. So we've had poets, we've had magicians, we've had storytellers, we've had singers, we've had all kinds of expressions in different ways. And tonight we have a mix of 5 acts, 6 different six different performers. One of them is a duo. And they're all the sort of the topic that I asked them to explore tonight for this evening is connection. Connection. So I figure what better way to start this than actually create some connection right in here. So what I'm going to have you all do is the following. You're going to have a little activity that I'm going to have you guys do, is to find somebody near you that, ideally somebody you don't know, but this works just as well with somebody that you do know. And what you're going to do is I'm going to give you 1 minute each to tell your life story. But you only have 1 minute. So you have to pick. You pick which version of your life, but you have 1 minute, and I'm going to tell you when it's 1 minute, and then you'll switch. The other person will tell you their life story in a minute, okay? So look around, be bold, find somebody, and you're going to talk about your favorite subject yourself. Okay, ready? Okay. you guys have to talk about themselves for a minute. But the truth is, did you guys have a good time? Was that fun doing that? Stories are the ways that we connect. They're the ways that we express who we are and discover other things about other people. Somebody who was just seconds ago a stranger to you is now not. And that's my favorite thing. So what I've got for you tonight is I've got as I said, 5 acts. I think I'll start with a little story of my own that is something that I guess I've been reflecting on recently because I've got a son and daughter. My son is 18 and he's graduating from high school this spring. And it's been, this is a difficult generation, it's a difficult age, especially kids that are graduating this year. If there's anybody in your life, this is the COVID generation, right? These are kids who started high school in remotely, and so they started out in this sort of situation that was like all of us. We were all remote, and we were all, quarantined, and specifically for kids, especially teenagers, that age when this all started to go down for them is literally the age when you just want to pull away. You want to not be home, but yet we're like, no, you cannot leave home. This is where you're going to stay, And we had this extra, level of service in my house because it's like my wife had cancer at the time. She is healthy now, thank you. But this extra flavor of really don't leave the house because it will kill your mother. Which is a good thing to put on your kids, a good level of it's all guilt tripping. So here we are at the end of the road, so to speak, or the beginning of the next road, but the end of this road, and there's this, this balance that we're always in as parents between controlling our children and letting go of control, right? It's this balance between like steering them and watching where the leaf goes when you put it in the stream, seeing is it gonna just drown and bury itself, or is it gonna float on and take off and fly? Whatever, we don't know. So I got the other day, my son sent me a request, a meeting request. Something I didn't know he was aware of how to do. But it was a meeting request to go to his friend Zach's parents' house to have a meeting about the upcoming road trip. Road trip. So my wife and I were intrigued. We accepted the invitation and planned on our schedule to go to the meeting. And we figured between Jenny and I that this was a meeting where the parents were going to get together and say, hell no, they're not going on this road trip. But yet it came from Henry, it came from my son, the invitation. So we set aside some time in our schedules and we planned to go. And as we were planning to go, Henry says, well, I'll go with you. And we're like, you're coming on to the meeting with the parents, or we're going to decide not to let you go on the road? Say, no, there's going to be a presentation. A PowerPoint presentation. And indeed, these children are so well trained in this day and age that they had an entire presentation formed about their goals, their objectives, their desires, and the requested budget that they wanted us to somehow front for their trip, which half the room was like, okay, half the room was like, I can think of a lot of ways for you to pay for this trip. So in the conversation that ensued between the kids and their objectives and their goals and the parents here, it was confronting this divide between holding on and controlling and letting completely go and letting them go their way. And I remember all of the horribly awful decisions that I made as an 18-year-old, especially involving driving and road trips and telling nobody of what I was doing. So the very fact that they had a PowerPoint presentation and a meeting invite, all it was going to take for me to say yes. So there they go. Thank you very much. So they sail. All right, we have a great show for you tonight. I'm really excited to introduce your storytellers. The first storyteller tonight is a very dear friend of mine, a former student of mine, and just a lovely, wonderful human being. I am pleased as hell for you to be here. I know that a lot of you, maybe half of you are here to see him. So please welcome Craig Byrne! Okay, is this on? All right. Craig Byrne!
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
A little closer, a little closer. Let me go a little lower.
Oh, is this?
A little lower? Wow. You guys are all here, and I can't believe it, which is so awesome. What a great crowd. First of all, if you're not aware of this, real quick, Corey, Alyssa, my friend Mitchell, who I just met last week skiing. These people make this thing happen, and a bunch of other people. So I'm so grateful. Now I'm going to tell you guys the stories. Thank you. I am in the dressing room in Orinda, California at the Sports Unlimited store trying on a black Speedo bathing suit. Because my Speedo is old and ragged, and I'm on a swim team, and I don't like the way I look. So I'm looking in the mirror, and I see this red-headed kid who's about 12 years old. I am 12. And that kid realizes that his dad is waiting outside. This suit costs a lot of money. My dad's going to be pissed. He's going to yell at my mom again about money because I've got this suit that costs too much money that I'm going to put on. But I need it. So I look in the mirror one more time, and I make a decision. I put the suit on, and I pull up my pants. And I walk outside, and I casually see my dad, and I say, "Well, Dad, the suit didn't fit. Let's get out of here." That's about the time my dad pulls me aside and looks at me. "What the hell are you doing? You went in there with a suit. You came out without a suit. You gotta go back in there, take off your suit, and otherwise you're gonna go to jail." Okay. I'm getting this. So I go in, and lo and behold, we leave this store with, I don't have a damn suit. I don't have a suit. I left, but no suit still. Still got that raggedy suit. I'm going to go to the swim team. I'm going to look crappy. So I go home, and I'm a little bummed, but I glance at the Orinda Sun newspaper, and what do I see? I see that they're going to have a hot dog eating contest in Ream in about a week, and the winner gets $50. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. I love hot dogs. This is speaking to me. So I just convinced my mom, we got to get there. We got to get me to the starting line because I can do this. So my mom was a real gentle lady. Goes along, pays the $2 entry fee for her son, which is kind of like throwing money away, I'm sure, for her. But it was okay. So we show up, they arrive, and I get the logistics of this hot dog eating contest, and all the contestants were all gathered, and the deal is, This is not going to be a Joey Chestnut type of event. No. This is not where you have the dog in front of you and you gobble the bun and the dog at the same time. You're going to run 25 yards and you're going to pick a dog off your table and you're going to run back 25 yards and try to eat the dog. So this speaks to me. I like hot dogs and I'm fast. And so I look around and there's like trees. There's all big people. I mean, these are people with bellies and beards. I'm a little kid. I'm like 12 years old. But I believe I have something that they don't. So, before I know it, these 12, 14 other Goliaths are like at the starting line with me, and I hear go. And I am like a gazelle. And before I know it, I'm ahead of these like overweight men, and I'm grabbing my hot dog, and it's going back to the starting, and I'm eating it, and it just goes in so smoothly. I barely chew it. It goes down my gullet. It's so good. And I'm ahead right now. Everything's going well. And I'm on to the next dog. I'm running 25 more yards, and I'm picking up that dog. And you know, this dog is sort of going in. It's one bite, swallow. It's still going okay. I've still got these, I still got the distance on all these overweight guys. They don't know who they're dealing with here. I'm feeling good. So I get that dog down. And I'm on to dog number 3, okay? This dog looks bigger to me, though. The bun looks bigger. I don't know. I grab it. And it's going back. Back to the starting line, and I'm chewing on it, and all of a sudden I realize that rubbery Oscar Mayer flavor doesn't taste so well anymore. It's really not going down like the others, but I'm getting it down. I don't know how I got that down. It's just, I've got tears in my eyes, and I'm going though. I'm moving. I'm still moving. And I'm looking, and somehow these guys are now kind of catching up to me, but that's okay. I have my hands on dog number 4. And this dog, somehow, when I get back to the start again, doesn't want to go in. It just doesn't go in. But it has to go in. So I put it in my mouth and I chew, and all of a sudden I notice like parts are coming out. They're like breadcrumbs and but because of all these so many big guys, I don't think the judges are noticing that my dog is mostly on the pavement. So my God, this is the last dog. I got one more dog. And it seems farther away, 25 yards. But in motion, I get the dog, and now all these big men, lumberjacks, are like right with me. They're pressing. I grab the dog, and I still have the speed, and by God, I get back. And this dog has got to go in. Somehow. I'm nauseated. I'm not feeling well. And with force of will and God, because all these men, they're chewing, and it's all of a sudden like Mike Mulligan in the steam shovel. There's dust and parts and everything's flying in the air. And I'm chewing, and I don't know what's going to happen. And this is it, the last minute, the last chew. And I'm looking up, and I don't think I won. And I hear, Craig won. Oh my God, I won! Even the big guys are patting me on the back. This is a special moment of my life. I won the $50 hot dog contest. Woo! Okay. I just want to tell you that when in the contest, my parents ended up splitting up and keep them together going in the contest. But let me tell you, I bought a really nice black Speedo bathing suit. And swimming, to this day, I love it. And as far as hot dogs, you can't pay me enough money to ever eat a hot dog again. Thank you
Craig is a nurse, right?
Yeah.
And as a storyteller that I have just loved watching him tell stories all over the Bay Area. He was at Oakland or Alameda Story Slam last week. And Craig, do you have anything coming up that you are looking forward to? Yeah, what do you got?
So, just a shout out. There's a great place a venue called the Monkey House, and it's in Berkeley. April 7th, wonderful woman puts it on, and so if you want to see more, April 7th.
In Berkeley, yeah, okay, April 7th, 2 o'clock, Berkeley Monkey House, so more stories there. Terrific, all right, next up we have a singer, songwriter, poet, performer from, originally from St. Louis, by way of Oakland, who is here tonight, so please welcome to the Mechanics Institute, Lovey!
Hello, everybody. Thank you. This is my first time doing something like this. Like Corey said, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I've been out in the Bay for about, oh my God, St. Louis family, yes. So I came to the Bay like right before COVID, and that was interesting. I literally came to pursue music, and like everything that was outside was inside. And so I was doing open mics on Zoom. Very strange environment. Anyway, so I have just been having a really good time out here so far, and I am just super excited to be here because my debut as a comedian happened literally on like New Year's Eve, like this past New Year's Eve. I was in the audience of a comedy show, and the guy was like, "Hey, anybody in the audience is like on their bucket list to do like a comedy set?" And I don't know why, but I felt this pressure well up in me, like it has to be me. So after like 3 seconds of like awkward silence, my hand just shot up, and I was just like, I volunteer as tribute, and that started my career as a part-time comedian. So I'm here to tell you a little story about how I became a cat mom. So first off, I am what I like to call sexually ambiguous. Now, what that means to me is that you can't look at me and tell what I am into as far as like my sexual preference. And that's fine. I like it that way, right? Keep them guessing. But the issue for me is that, when I like somebody, they're not sure if I'm a friend or if I'm a fan of that sort. So it's a little hard for me on the dating scene. So I took to the dating apps, as most people my age do these days, right? So I go on this lesbian dating app called Her, and I meet this beautiful person, and her name is Zen, and we have been together for about a year now. Thank you. And when I say been together, that means we met a year ago and instantly fell in love, like a lot of lesbians do. And there's this phenomenon in the lesbian community that happens, and they refer to it as U-Haul lesbians. I'm not sure if anybody knows what that means, but this is this thing that happens when two women fall in love within 2 seconds of meeting, and then they move in together within a week. That's usually what happens, right? That's the thing. So I'm proud to say that is not what I did. But I think I probably did the second gayest thing that you could do as a lesbian, and we got 2 cats. We decided to be co-parents because we could not irresponsibly get pregnant. So this was the closest thing to an unplanned pregnancy that we could get. And that's what we did. And we didn't initially plan to get 2 cats, but we went to the shelter and they were like, usually, like if you don't have a cat already, it's good to get 2 because we wanted the young cats, so they have a companion, and they can learn from each other, entertain each other, things like that. So we go to the shelter and we see these cats. There's this one sleeping orange tabby, and And they're like, yeah, he doesn't let anybody touch him. I was like, really? I was just petting him over there. And I was just like, well, that's weird. I'm like, you know what? That must be the cat. And they're like, well, he's bonded with this other cat. And I'm like, well, we'll take them both. So we went home with 2 cats that day, and we were wildly unprepared. Honestly, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot. This is back in January, okay? And I'm still kind of recovering from postpartum depression. I mean, like nobody told me all of the long nights and the litter being everywhere and just the smell of poop in the middle of the night. It's crazy. And they're 2 boys. They're both tabbies, and they were bonded since they got to the shelter. Now, they say bonded, but the way I see them interact, they look like 2 gay boys to me. I don't know if cats have sexualities, but I mean, they're both neutered, so at that point, it's like, they're queer. Like, I don't know. I mean, I see them kiss each other, so you can't tell me anything else. And they're really interesting. They both have really different personalities. One, his name is Rain. He's a brown tabby. Rain Apollo, but we just call him Rain. And then the other one is orange tabby named Zakai. We call him Kai. Now, Rain is the sweetest little boy, but he's just a little ditzy, right? And so we have to kind of train him a lot more than we do Kai. And so one thing that really we were struggling with when we first got him, he would do this thing where we're in bed and he would like think that our feet moving under the covers is like some sort of game, right? And so like I'm sleeping soundly, it's 3 a.m. and all of a sudden my feet are getting attacked and just clawed and like just completely just like disrespect me out of my sleep, right? And there was this one particular night it happened and I just lost it. I got scratched and tried to kind of like bat him away and he like really got my finger and it was a deep cut. And like my girl just started laughing. She like chuckled a little bit and I was just like, that wasn't funny. Like I'm hurt. So I go in the bathroom and I'm like crying silently and she comes in and uses it and she's like, are you crying? Like what's going on? And I'm like, this is just a lot. Like it's too much. I felt like a teen mom, okay? Like literally, like I just had no clue what I signed up for. I'm like, I don't know how to get this like cat to not scratch me in the middle of my sleep. Like I just don't know. And like I started reinforcing the bed, putting towels and like extra layers at the end of my feet. So like if he does scratch, you won't be hurtful at least. So that was a thing. It was just very difficult. Now Kai is a little, what can I say? He's not ditzy, but he is a little standoffish almost. He's super sweet, but he's very like, what are you doing? Because I don't want to be over there with you. And like he has this like, don't touch me kind of like mood. Like I don't know if you guys remember like Puss in Boots from Shrek. Like if Kai had a voice, he would sound like that. He would have this like super deep like accents and just like super bougie like, you know, I am a cat and you have to take care of me. That's it. So like that's just completely it. And so it's this very entitled energy and it was very difficult to bond with him at first. Like Rain, he loved his first night, right? We brought him home, let him out the cage, and within 5 minutes he was like cuddling up and doing this all the cute stuff that you want a cat to do, right? Kai was just like, I don't know what this is, but like I'm here because my bro's here. Like honestly, we were a package deal, but I don't know you, okay? I'm just trying to make sure that Rain's good, so it's fine. So he hid under the bed for the first week. It was good. It was very interesting because when we had them in the room for a full week, because you know that was the advice that the shelter gave us, kind of let them transition, get used to where we're at. And my roommate, she also has a cat, so we had to do like a little intro situation. But that was difficult because her cat is evil. I'm sorry. I don't like that cat, okay? Like, that is a mean cat. That cat does not like anyone. It doesn't matter. Like, we've had people come over like, oh, all cats love me. Okay, I mean, try it. Instantly, like, to everybody, right? And so, like, our cats are, like, the sweetest boys. And, like, Cece, which is my roommate's cat, is just so mean to them. And this is, like, very, like it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Luckily, they haven't fought or gotten violent. She's all bark, no bite, completely. So by the time we let them out of the house, out of the room, and we have like a 3-story house, their personalities just completely took off, and it was like super cool to watch. So Kai especially surprised us because as he was hiding under the bed most of the time, once we let him out, it was just like, oh, the world is my oyster, and he never wanted to go back in. And it was just amazing to just see him kind of running up and down the stairs, chasing Rain, and they were just all having a good time. And he does this thing now where usually he doesn't like to be touched, but every morning and sometimes late at night, he'll come up on the bed and want to get pet, but he doesn't really know how to be pet. It's very weird. So he'll like come, he'll kind of like walk around, like you'll be right here and he's kind of like, I want you to love me, but I just don't know how to accept the love. And so he'll come real close and you kind of have to like, not move too quickly and just let him sniff you for a second. And then he'll like rub up against you a little bit, and then you'll be scratching his face, and then he'll kind of be like, wait, and then he'll be like, no, okay, that feels good. And then he'll kind of like move exactly where he wants you to pet him. It's like very much like be still, like I want you to be still so I can just pet you like a normal cat. He doesn't like that. He needs to move around and be in control, like, no, get in my back, get in my head. It's like, wait a second, I don't know, you move too quickly. And come back, like it's very specific. And I'm just like, you know what? This is fun. And it literally happens in a short window of time. Any other time of day, he's not having it. Like it's so crazy. Like this earlier today, right? He was just casually sitting on the chair, and I'm like, let me just test a theory, because it's taking him a while to warm up. So maybe maybe I could go in for a pet now. So I'm moving slowly, and he like kind of freezes, like he wants to leave. He wanted to leave, but I got him too quickly, and I'm just petting him, and he's just like, God, like planning his escape. And it's like, all right, 3 seconds, and like he took off, and I love him, but it's kind of a little heartbreaking that he can't cuddle as much and like shows him as much love. And I don't want to have favoritism, but it's just like, come on, man, like Ray knows how to be a cat. Like I'm just saying, like I know you like your independence or whatever, and that's beautiful, but it's just like, if you want to get love, you got to accept this. I mean, my name is Lovey. I love love, right? This is a real thing. This is not a gimmick. So it's a little hurtful, it's kind of like having kids, literally, and just one is like super standoffish and just wants to be in the room all the time and like, fuck you, mom. And the other one is just the sweetest, perfect little angel. And it's just like, you know what? I love both of you equally, and I want y'all to know, okay? And it's especially difficult because, like I said, me and my partner got the cats, but we do not live together. So we are co-parenting. And that is really difficult because we had co-parenting issues. Like she would come over and just start cuddling and playing with them, playing with their little toys and stuff. And I'm like, oh, did you clean their litter box? And, forgot about that. It's like the equivalent of like not changing a diaper. It's just like, come on, like I clean this litter box every day. Like where are you at? You come over for 5 minutes and all you do is cuddle with them. That ain't fair. Okay, and it's just like, okay, I'll come home. I came home the other day. I noticed their food bowl's a little dry. I'm like, 7 o'clock. You didn't think to feed them? Nope. Okay, well, like, what are we doing here? Like, are you really just here for the cut? Like, we've got into arguments, full-blown arguments, as if we really birthed kids. And it's just the craziest thing to me. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm having a really good time. I got battle scars from cats, and the cat fur is endless. Do you have any cat parents in the house? Yeah. So you guys know that cats are really sweet, and I love them. I'm really having a good time, and I'm excited to kind of see them continue to expand. And I guess my moral of the story is that you can have safe sex and still have kids. So.
What do you got coming up?
Yes, so I have a few things. I just got booked for a show April 26th. So as you guys know, I'm also mainly a singer, songwriter, poet as well. So I have some QR codes I'll pass around if you guys want to follow my journey. I do have a show on the 26th. I'm also hosting an open mic in Oakland on the 22nd. So definitely.
Lovey, 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 yes, awesome. Give it up for Lovey. Yes. And I also have asshole cats, so I really related to that. I have one cat who really wants to be petted and just sits right in the right position, and the other who is like just beyond where you are. You know, like they're like, yeah, how come you're not petting me? It's like, 'cause you're fucking too far away. That's just, there's a logic there. All right, are you ready for our next storyteller? All right. The next storyteller also is a friend of mine and a storyteller, and just a small moment, just that will always remain in my imagination and memory, is that he took a class that I was teaching, and it was in this big, a friend of mine had a warehouse in Potrero Hill, and it had no heat, and it was a very, very cold night. And there was a heater though, but it was like this odd situation where you had to take a stick, and you had to lift the stick up and flick a switch, and then it would blow out. But it was a giant cavernous space. You guys know the kind of space. And so what we realized is that there was like an area where the vent was just blowing right in this one place. And so the next storyteller, and also Craig, and me and one other person, we basically huddled in this little, like in chairs beneath the fan, and told stories, freezing, but like, we just one little light. So I'll never not remember that. Please welcome to the stage, Tom, Darci!
Wow, okay, hi, geez, so many, wow, great. Hello in the back, great. Yeah, it was cold in that room. It was good, cozy. I think the listeners got to be in the blast and the teller had to be outside the blast. I think that was okay, thanks for coming. Let's hear a story. Where does time go is a question. For this one, let's go back 18 years, which isn't that long, and it's also very long. 18 years ago, I'm 40 years old, I'm a dad, and I've got a baby on my back and a backpack, and our 5-year-old and our 7-year-old are here, and they're wearing the cutest little hiking boots and their shorts, and we are sliding around on this huge snow patch and having the best time. It's summertime, it's August in the Sierras, we're outdoors, we're on a backpacking trip. As far as I'm concerned, this is like peak parenting. Like we're doing it, man. I didn't do anything like this as a kid, but here we are, we got our kids up in the mountains, we're sleeping, all 5 of us and the dog in this tiny tent that's shaped like a witch's hat, I don't know. And the kids, I mean, they think that like logs and rocks are toys, and they like going out in the woods and pooping with their friends. They're all in. And we're here with friends. We're not just alone. We have 2 other families who are basically as smug as we are about all this parenting and outdoorsy stuff. So it's a good fit, and we're kind of new friends, all right? So we're kind of showing off for each other a little bit, I think. So we're on the snow, we're sliding around, and then I'm like, hey, where's Kirk? My friend is missing. Oh, he's like left us. He's way over there, and he's starting to climb up this vertical rock wall without any climbing gear. Wow, he is so cool. I'm standing here, I'm just got my baby on my back, and I'm on the snow, but I'm checking out ahead of me. There's all this snow, it's flat, but then the snow runs up the hill, like a whole ski slope. It's amazing. It's the biggest snowfield I've ever seen in summertime. And I'm just kind of checking it out, looking at it, and my friend Joshua comes up, she goes, are you gonna slide down that? Maybe. And then she goes, well, if you're stupid enough to do that, I'll hold your baby for you. And I don't know what you hear when you hear that, but I hear, oh, Tommy boy, yeah, we all know you're never gonna slide down that hill, are you, big man? No, you're not, and you're gonna blame it on your baby. She's right. So what could I do? The next moment I find myself handing over my precious baby to her, thank you. And you might ask, where was my wife to stop me from making this stupid decision? Where were you? Where were you? She had left us to go back to dinner, We're responsible for the kids right now, right? So I'm like, bye kids, daddy's gonna go do a little thing, I'll be right back. And I go off. I got my male ego, I'm tromping along the snow. My friend Kirk's halfway up the wall. Our other friend, he didn't even come on the trip, because on another trip he hurt his back jumping off a cliff. So we really got this. And I get to the base of the hill, and Jesus, it's so steep and so ominous up close. Far away it looked nice, but it's a little scary, but I gotta do this. And if I had like an ounce of sense, what I would have done is go up the hill 20 yards and try sliding down. Makes sense? But I don't have any sense. I also don't have time, because my friend's holding my kid, and I just gotta go. So I got a plan. I'm gonna climb up the hill to the left of all the snow, like on the rocks and dirt, and then I'll slide down like a big ski run. It'll be awesome. In my boots, I don't have skis, but that's cool. So I'm going up, hoofing it up there. I'm walking on all the boulders and the dirt, and I'm right next to the snow. It's high. It's over my head high, really thick and gross underneath. It's all running with water and dirt. And, okay, I'm looking at the surface, and 15 minutes later, I'm at the top. Get to the top, flat on the top, snow on the top. I get on the snow again. Great. And so now I'm like sliding around to make, reassure myself I'm a good slider. I'm a good slider, so good. And then I spin myself around, taking the, oh my God! It's so beautiful. I'm up so high. It's amazing. The mountains, the blue sky. Oh, there's Kirk. He's almost over the wall. What a guy. Damn it. But look at me. I'm here. Hey, everybody. Hey. Woohoo. Right? And I check out the hill. Holy shit. It's really steep. I can't do this. You can do it. Shut up. Do it. I can do it. And let me tell you, walking down the way I came up, I would just be too embarrassed. There's no way I can do that. So I can do this. But the important thing I noticed about the hill is it does not go straight down. It actually slants to the right quite a bit, which is concerning to me, but, well, we'll make it work. So I get myself set up, no time to waste, and I go all the way to the left, so I have the most room to travel, and I get in my stance. It looks like this. There it is. It's like a telemark stance in my boots, because this right foot is going to keep me from sliding right. It's going to be awesome. I'm just going to dig it in. And here we go. Away we go. I jump off the edge onto the slope, gonna go. And I tell you the truth, I thought I was gonna have to like scooch myself along. In the summer, the snow is always slow. It's so sunny and everything. But it's not. It's a great slide. And I'm just zooming. And it's really good for like 500 milliseconds until my feet go flying out from under me. And I become a human bobsled, basically. And I'm just rocketing down, or more like rocketing to the right. I'm just zooming. It's just not good, and time like freezes, and so I have time to have some thoughts, and I think, oh wow, there's nothing stopping me from flying off that edge. Decent chance I'm going to break my neck, or my head, or my femur, or something. There's no help in the mountains. These thoughts all go through my mind, I remember them, and then I go flying off the edge. Next thing I know, I smash into a rock, and it's like, bam! And the experience I have is of bouncing. I bounce from rock to rock to rock to rock. And I don't even feel any pain, which is weird. It's just like I'm a rag doll, and then I'm done. And I'm just lying there in the ground with my eyes closed, and I think, am I dead? Well, I just had a thought, so that means I'm not dead, right? I'm not so sure. Maybe I should try to stand up. And I can stand up, which is amazing. And what's more amazing is there's no blood gushing, there's no bones poking out. I cannot believe this luck. And so I stick my arm up, I'm like, hey, I'm okay, woo! And then I go back down and I kind of take stock, and my hands numb, and I'm shaking like crazy, but basically I've come out of this okay. So I'm here today, woo! But I will tell you, walking back down there to see my kids, nothing feels worse than letting your kids down. And just the shame is just like welling up as I get closer to them. And I look them in the face like, yeah, Daddy almost just died and you got to see it. Cool. Well, there's no way around it because that's what just happened. And unfortunately, it wasn't the last time I let them down. I really hadn't really anticipated that. I mean, I was such an intentional parent. We were doing it, but there's times you fuck up and you just have to be like, I fucked up. And it happens again and again. And somehow they still, hopefully not too often, and they still seem to like me, and they really like each other, and they still like backpacking. And in just a couple months, they're going on a trip themselves for a week in Canada backpacking without us. So that's cool. As for me, I'm just happy I got to live to see it all. Thanks. What
what else you got coming up? I know there's the Monkey House thing, right?
Yeah, Craig and I do that Monkey House, April 7th, so that's going to be wicked fun. That's a fun thing. And then I'll be at your Moth next Wednesday, and you'll pick me, right?
Yeah, I'll pick you! Yes! All right, Tom Darci, everybody! Okay, all right, our next, we have 2 more acts. And I just want to thank you again for coming out on a Wednesday night. It's a random 6:15 early show. I love it, but thank you. Give it up for yourselves. Being really excited to do things like that. I am very excited about our next act because it's a particular point of pride to bring them out of retirement. Would we call it retirement? I don't know if it was ever a career doing this, but many years ago, I was compelled, I don't know, to teach a bunch of, what would we call ourselves? Rookie amateurs how to do stand-up comedy. And the thing that they didn't know is that I never taught anybody how to do stand-up comedy before. And they trusted me, and we put on a show in Marin, and it was amazing, right? It was amazing. It was So, sort of, that was pre-pandemic, and now I have just my dream, my goal is to get them back together, and they are. So please welcome to the stage your next act, Paige Rodgers and Veronica Skelton.
So we now know who's responsible should we be terrible.
But if we're amazing, then it's because we're geniuses.
That's it. So tonight is about connection, right? And that's fitting because our friendship and connection has been long and deep.
That's what she said.
Oh! Just warming up. We're just warming up. Getting proud, warmed up.
Yeah, this is what you're in for. So yeah, we've known each other for like 15 years.
Yeah, it's been about 15. Yeah, and what is the deal with our kids and some friends and strangers saying that we're basically the same person? Like,
Yeah.
your son the other day actually said those very words in a really judgy tone. He was like, "You guys are basically the same person."
No, it was so judgy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do get it, right? Like, we are both strong, independent, badass women.
I was going to say tall and blonde.
Well, we do like a lot of the same stuff,
Yeah.
like traveling and live music and drinking wine.
True. Oh my God, what if we could only pick one of those things to have for the rest of our lives? Okay, what are you doing on the count of 3? Get ready.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Wine!
Travel! Wine? Really? Okay. Well, let's see. We do also have daughters who are the same age.
Yeah, mine's a lesbian and yours is like bi-curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we do like some of the same clothes, like tonight was super awkward.
But what normally happens is I go out and get something that I think is super cute and looks good on me, and then you ask me where I got it, and you go out and get the same thing.
I mean, sometimes. We both have had a career in communications, and we both actually work at the same company as directors. That's kind of weird.
Right? That is weird, except I was there first. So
Here we go.
And you also work on a team of mainly women trying to save the world. And I'm on a team of mainly obnoxious men trying not to get reported to HR.
This is true. We are both women dealing, in our 50s, dealing with menopausal issues, like, what is it? Forgetfulness and irritability.
Right. Fuck you, I'm not irritable. Okay, whatever. There's also like that whole
facial hair issue.
Oh, I know, girl. You seriously gotta get that checked out because I do not have that. I don't. Oh my God! Look, we're different. We're totally different. I guess another one of our differences might be our marriages.
Yes, true. Your husband didn't dump you after 25 years and moved to Bali.
Oh, I was just gonna say yours ended, but yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, the big difference is you go home to a great husband every night, and I'm back to dating in my 50s.
Okay, well, yeah, I think we could both agree that, you know, there are challenges to being married for 25 years. I mean, we all remember in the beginning how we just wanted to be our best selves. Like, we wanted to be smart and sexy and perky, and, you know, we just, like, in those days, we just thought maybe we could show up in that way. And, you know, being smart and sexy is not always that easy. I had to sit there and think, when is this guy going to realize it's all a farce? Like, there were some giveaways. Okay, so the time I came home, and we had just been at a party, and he says, "Hey, babe, so when you were telling everybody that you thought that there might be a changing astigmatism to mental health," he's like, "the word was stigma." And I was like, tomato. And then when, you know, I came home really excited, and I was like, "Hey, babe, did you know that there's a camp right around the corner, and it's for kindergartners and 9th graders. Like, how cool is that for our kids? Like, it has, you know, the one with the sign has the dog, like, jumping for the frisbee, and it's like, camp K through 9, and it's like, babe, the camp canine for dogs, the place that you bring dogs." And I was like, "Okay, Stanford grad." Yeah. And then when I came home and was like, "Hey, you know, I think I might try to be a driver for Volkswagen." You know, I was like, I feel like it could be kind of fun and easy, and they clearly need a lot of help. I mean, there are flyers everywhere that say drivers wanted. And he was like, "Babe, that's their ad campaign for people to buy the cars." And I was like, wow, way to squash my dream. You know, but in those days, I was actually really good at redirection. So I would just make it about him. I'd be like, "Anyway, so tell me again the rules of baseball." But like, say it really slow and in detail because it's so hot. And then, wait, did you say that you were an industrial engineering major from Stanford? Like, I want to hear more about that. That is so fascinating. Okay, but the thing is after 25 years of marriage, I cannot be bothered. I am like, forget trying to be smart or sexy. I am hormonal and weepy and lazy and kind of gassy. And for me, foreplay is like him plucking my neck hairs before we go to bed. I'm like, "Oh, baby, right there. No, right there. Yeah, my contribution to our sex life is staying awake. And I'm not going to brag, but like, I'm actually really good at it. So, you know, after 25 years of being friends and best friends and roommates, you know, there's a lot to be said. As roommates, I sometimes feel like we're living parallel lives, you know, like high-fiving in the hallway, like, "Oh, hey, yeah, what's up? Yeah. The other night, he came to say goodnight to me, and he gave me a kiss, and I was like, oh, babe, you shaved your goatee. I really loved that. Like, when did that happen? And he was like, 2 years ago. True story. So as best friends, I feel like, we need to be able to share everything, but as best friends, my husband is sitting right here. I will say as both best friends and roommates, like, after 25 years, I was sick of my roommates after 25 days. And, my best friends, I don't want to live with them. Except you, B! And maybe like Tommy and Lisa, and Terry, and Kirsten, and Denise. Alana's over there. I want to live with all my friends. But I will say, I feel like as best friends, I just want me to be able to ask any question and he should just know the answer, right? So like the other night, I'm like, hey babe, does my butt look big in these jeans? And he's like, I feel like that's a trick question. Because for 20 years, I was pretty sure the answer to that question was, nuh-uh, tight, it's small, no. But then after like the Kardashians and Beyonce, I feel like you want me to say, baby got bad. And then I'm pissed because he hasn't actually answered the question. And I want him to want me even when I'm not my best self. Like in the morning, my iPhone face recognition doesn't work anymore. But I want him to still want to have sex with me, morning sex. So it's just getting more confusing.
Yeah. I get it. But while you have that going on, I am back in the dating world and am starting to think about things that I haven't had to think about in a long time, like what my boobs look like naked to somebody who hasn't seen them morph over 25 years from something supple and sexual into what are basically the sad curiosities that they are today. I had this thought the other day that my boobs are actually like runty jellyfish heads that have washed upon the shore, like shriveling up and dying inside. Maybe I should. It's true. Maybe I should put that in my dating profile. I did have the thought that, I am in my 50s and I might as well just be really honest and authentic in my dating profile, right? I mean, I know who I am, I know what I want, so let's just play that out. In the body type section, I could put 5'10" and runty jellyfish, in the style section, I could put equally comfortable in high heels and tennis shoes, and I have no idea what to do with my pubic hair. Are we going full 1970s Bush after COVID? Or are we like waxing our assholes like we did in the 90s? I have no idea. In the pet section, we could have that I have a spastic terrier that I will always love more than any man. And that's mostly because he's absolutely terrible at gaslighting me. So, and let's see, getting intimate with me will mean having to stare down a massive hormone replacement therapy patch. And I was married for so long that I haven't willingly sucked a dick in 23 years. So gentlemen, who's first? Who's first? Who wants some of this? Dating is really complicated these days. No, and it used to be a lot easier, right? Like when I was dating my ex-husband, it was like, oh, you like to travel? I like to travel. You hate Blues Traveler? I hate Blues Traveler. Let's get married! And have a bunch of like Blues Traveler hating kids, you know? But now it's a lot more complicated, right? I mean, people want to know what your attachment style is and what your Myers-Briggs is and what your love language is. And oh, and by the way, guys, like, you don't have to tell us that your love language is physical touch, okay? Like, you're dudes, all right? We know. You know what my love language is? Stop telling me that your love language is physical touch. And there's all these different lifestyles now. Like, when I first started dating again, I came across this acronym, ENM. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, I had to look it up too. It means ethical non-monogamy, which is basically code for I can fuck as many people as I want at the same time and be totally righteous about it. And so early on, I was dating this guy and I found out he was sleeping with me and like 3 other women, and I was like, what the hell? And he's like, babe, I like put it in my profile, ENM, like right in between the picture of me at Burning Man and the fur coat, and then I like yacht rock, you know? I know, yacht rock should have been the deal breaker on that one. So like, right, you gave 12 people herpes last month, but you put ENM in your profile, so you're all good, you're good. Anyway, it's, you know, dating has been difficult, and I don't have a lot of time to date. I'm busy. And so I try to ferret out the red flags really quickly when I'm dating. So what I do to do this is I slip certain questions in really slyly. And yeah, it goes something like this. What kind of music do you like? And are you able to apologize without saying you're so sensitive? Another really good one is like, he'll say, I'm from Santa Cruz, and I'll be like, oh, do you serve, and do you have deep-seated mommy issues? Oh, and my favorite one, I think, is, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, still working full-time or hating me for everything I love about myself? Just, you know, just getting to know you. I think we're compatible.
I know, I think it all comes back to connection. And you know, being married or not, we have each other, and our jellyfish had boobs.
Maybe we are the same person.
Veronica, Paige, so that anything you guys want to promote or plug or anything?
No, please do not.
Do not come see anything that they ever do again. I make it my new goal to keep you out of retirement again. Give it up one more time. All right, we have one more act tonight. This is a wonderful dear friend of mine, a terrific talent and a great storyteller. Please welcome Beau, Ryder,
How are we all doing? How is everyone tonight? Please give a great hand for all the storytellers that went up. I want to address, I was over here right before I came on stage and tried to lean up on that thing that I thought was solid and then almost fell. If any of you saw that, that was for you. That was a little comedy before the show. So, I'm going to start this story by saying something that's very believable, but I would like you all to act very shocked, if you don't mind the admission of this, okay? Is everyone on the same page? So I wasn't getting laid a lot in high school. Right? That was good. You were really good. You're like, oh my god. Yeah, it was not going great. This came up because I was talking to my little cousin, because now I'm old enough to be a mentor to people, which is terrifying to me. And he is, from everything he's told me, equally as like hopeless in high school as I was. And he was like, was it this tough for you to get a girlfriend? Was it tough to talk to girls, for you? And I said, let me tell you a story, kid. When I was a junior, there was a scandal in my high school where the president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes was found to be having sex with the vice president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I know. Again, shocked face. Yeah, shocking. Front page news in our shitty town of Hazard, Kentucky. Front page news. Next year, they tried to remedy this issue by electing me president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I was not a Christian or an athlete, but they knew I wasn't going to fuck. So, they were like, if there's a scandal, it'll be a wholly new scandal. We will not have the same scandal 2 times in a year. So that's where it was for me. It was not good. My dad always believed in me. My dad looked at my chubby blonde Ron Weasley exterior and was like, somewhere there's a Casanova inside this man. There's a tiger inside this boy. So when I got old enough to go to college, he said, I've got a present for you. And he brought out what I can only describe, he had the 2 hands, the most comically large box of condoms you have ever seen. It didn't look like my condoms, it looked like our condoms. It looked like I was competing with Planned Parenthood as soon as I got there. If they ran out, they would call me. I would be like their guy. Like that was how many. And I was like shocked at the size of the box. So I went, oh, and I guess he mistook it. It was like, oh, these are for sex, which I was like, yeah. Like he was afraid I didn't know. He was afraid I would get there and like a month in, call him, and be like, yeah, Dad, those slippery balloons you gave me were sure fun because I was originally with animals with those. So I get to college. I take my big box, I put it under my bed. It's so big it props the bed up a little. And then I try to get into, trying to find someone to use the condoms with, which was the hard part. But eventually, I found someone who was like, open to perhaps using the condoms with me. And I think it's about to happen once we're over at my place. I'm like ready to go with a box of condoms. I'm ready to get, it doesn't happen. Second time, same thing. I'm ready for it, doesn't happen. Third time, it's happening. It's at her place. I don't have my big box of condoms. And she said, well, you're going to have to go buy condoms, which of course I would. But as you probably would have guessed from this, I was a special strand of socially awkward at that moment in my life. I know I'm up here right now telling you about my teenage sex life. This is a new development. This is not who I have been, okay? The thought of doing this then would cause me to fold somehow into a small dense ball and run away. But and also condoms, it's kind of a weird purchase. It's the only thing you purchase that lets someone know, I intend to have sex imminently. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't sound like the kind of purchase I wanted to make, but it's gotta happen. So I go down to the little corner store at my college. It was called the Cat Mart, because we were the Wildcats. And I walk in, and I'm not sure who I want to be the cashier for this transaction, but I look over, and it's a Mennonite, which they have in Kentucky. And it's not that she looked like her name was Agatha, and she only had sex to glorify God. So it's not the person I want to buy from. And it's worse because they're behind her. This is a college campus. Kids steal condoms off, and you have to ask her for the condoms. So I walk around for 10 minutes trying to figure out how I'm going to go about this, and I realize, I'll buy a bunch of other stuff and make it look like I'm here for that. And I buy the condoms as like an impulse buy. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the Fritos and Coca-Cola, But then I'm like, oh, you know, might as well have a condom for the road. You know, it's like, I might get late on the way home. You can never be too safe. You know, why not? So I collect all these snacks, and I like waddle up, and I just dump them out. And then I go like, oh, well, I'm feeling crazy. Throw in a condom. What are your finest condoms, please? And she doesn't look up. She's just scanning, and she says, what kind? You get it. You get it. I, at this point, just had my big box of condoms. I had normal. I didn't know condoms came in genres. So I look up and I just see a wall of decisions I'm ill prepared to make. There's like ultra thin, and I'm like, that doesn't sound safe. I feel like they should either all be ultra thin or none of them should be ultra thin. And then I see ribbed condoms, and I'm like, ribbed condoms? Have I been using the boneless condoms the entire time? What does that even mean? And then I saw magnums, and I was like, not for me. So I knew all of those. I didn't know which one to pick. And I know this sounds silly. It's a stupid transaction. But again, socially awkward. I start freaking out. Like I start having a panic attack. Like my pulse is going, and I'm starting to sweat, and I'm just going like that. And she says, "Sir, what kind of condoms do you want?" And it's racing in my head. It just says, "Get out of this conversation. The next condom you see, buy that one. Just say something. Get out. Get out. Get out." So she said, "Which condom would you like?" And I went, "Oh, tropical flavors." No joke. My little brother's calling me right now. We're in the middle. We're in a big part of the story. I'm gonna tropical flavors. And she stops scanning, and she looks up and she says, "Really? No one's ever bought that one before." This is my own personal Vietnam. Like, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I feel myself imploding like a neutron star, becoming a black hole. And my brain again goes, we're shutting down. Just say something. Say a stock phrase. Get out. So she said that, and I said, you know me. So I leave the corner store with my condoms that taste like kumquat. And I think at least I'm out of that. Is this still working? Okay, cool. Is this still, I'm out of that, but then I'm like, oh shit, I not only just got that embarrassed, I'm gonna have to go back to my girlfriend.
It's not working.
Click the button. Oh no!
Oh my God.
That's how good you are.
I know, don't worry about it. We're back, we're so back. Okay. First Jack calls me, now this. I walk out with my condoms that taste like kumquat. You all laughed at that the first time. And I go, not only have I been embarrassed like that, I've got to take these back to my girlfriend. Like I have to bring these back. So I stay outside her place, just pacing for 10 minutes, trying to think of a way out of this. And then I go and I obviously look like shit. I'm sweaty. I've had a panic attack at a corner store. That's what I look like. And I'm explaining how I got these condoms. And I stop and I'm really sorry. And she looks at me and she smiles and she starts laughing, but not in a mean way. And I'm laughing too. And then she goes, it's okay. It probably would have happened to me. And I said, no, it fucking wouldn't. And now we're both laughing for like 10 minutes. And then she looks at me and she says, would you like to go back to your place and use the big box of condoms? And I smiled, and I said, yes, I would like that very much indeed. So, the moral of the story, I told this all to my cousin. I said, you're going to go through a lot of weird shit trying to find a connection to someone. But just remember, if you keep going and you keep trying and you keep pushing, eventually you'll find someone and it will work. Just maybe consider buy your condoms online the first time you do it. Thank you.
what have you got coming up?
Tomorrow night, I'll be in Fairfax for Storytelling Under the Stars with JP, who I think is another star storyteller. Great show. It's awesome. Please go. And also, I know we're at the end of the show. It would be so funny if I could call my brother back and then just have everyone say, "Hi, Jack." Could we do that?
So I'll start on this, but then when that comes up, that's happening. Keep it up for all the storytellers. Let's bring them all back. Tom and Veronica, Dave, come on back up. We'll do a good call. Let's all back up for a final, just a picture and all that. Okay, all right, 1, 2, 3. That's you, Jack. Yeah, that's for you. All right.
Thank you so much for coming out to my brother's show. That's what he said.
All right, so if you want to go to the back, you can come out. All right, so we just so you know this is so we do this once a month. The next one will be 24th of April right here. The format will be a little different. It is a story slam. So that means that if you want to tell a story, you can put your name in. We're going to pick the storytellers from the hat. There will be a couple of featured storytellers, but the rest will be you. So if this looks like fun, do that. One other thing I just want to plug is that I am doing an event. It's actually a storytelling class in Berkeley on April 10th. So it's a one-night thing. It's 90 minutes, and it costs, coincidentally, it costs the same exact price as one of my books. And you get the book too. So you pay $16 for the class, and you'll leave with my book. So that is April 10th. Mrs. Dalloway's in Berkeley. All that information is on my website, CoreyRosen.com. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Thank you for the cast. Thank you, guys.